Hello, everybody. I wasn't, I wasn't so sure. I wasn't so sure I was going to be on here. Uh, uh, I couldn't get the director's monitor thing come on the monitor on the TV, so I didn't know what I was going to do because she likes to watch, and that's basically one reason I do all this is so she can enjoy watching. And I got her a rose today. It looks kind of wilted, but it rained, and so I put it in that little Waterford pitcher, and I'll set it over here. I'll take it to her bedroom, side table. Fern, how are you? Debbie Tanner, Beverly White, Sandra Terry, Beverly White. Uh, no, yeah, Beverly, I had trouble. It wasn't trouble getting on. It was I couldn't find the live on the YouTube. I knew the cameras were set up and everything, but I couldn't find it on the main TV for Mother. In the other room, and she likes watching. So I was in there trying to get her taken care of before I came in here to sit down and talk to y'all. Finally, what I did is I put that intro on, which is a minute. So I rushed in there, reset up her TV, and rushed back here. And about that time, it was 54 minutes till the intro was over, but I found it on the TV once I started. I imagine it's because being Friday night, the internet, even though we're not cutting out, it's probably just because there's so many people on the internet tonight. Hi, DJR. If I talk a little funny, it's because my right ear is stopped up from allergies, and I didn't realize it till I sit down here. And usually I can pop them, and but it might. There it popped. These bones in here. That little bone, that TMJ bone, I found if I put my fingers there and kind of do your bottom out, it'll pop those ears and help that clear from those sinuses. Hi, Jim Rockford. How are you? I wasn't going to come on along tonight. I was before all this stuff happened, I was in the kitchen. I've still got my thing on. I didn't even know it. Going through the spice cabinets, spice boxes, spice cabinets. I need a broom closet just for spices. I really do, y'all. That's how much I saw that come on just for a second and say we lost connection. I hope it don't tonight. I just hope that it doesn't. I've got a spare what do you call it, internet thing in case. I guess we could go ahead and plug that in because I don't want to lose y'all due to a Wi-Fi issue. So let's try that and see. Maybe it'll stay still. I just had that. I told the dude, I said, put me a plug there. So if I get into the middle of something and we start cutting out due to I've got those, what is that called? EERO Wi-Fi things. I said, if that starts cutting out, we need some way to be able to hurry up and do this. And I've got that's a big, one of my umbrella lights. And I use it and I didn't have it set right. Yeah, nothing has gone on today here but rain. And that was okay with me. It was kind of like fall. We kind of had that little, I had that little feeling of fall. I had to get up early this morning. It doesn't matter if I'm sick or not sick or whatever. I still help people that need it. And so I had to take a person to the mental health place. So I had to get up I didn't really, probably, I got up at 7:30 and then I had to have them there by 8:15 for their counseling session. Then I had to wait and then go pick them back up at 9. I think they were through at 9:30, and then carry them back out in the country to their house because I feel like, at one point I've always had a ride mostly, but sometimes I didn't, over the years. And I thought, boy, when you have to try to get to an appointment and you don't have nobody to help you or nowhere to go, then I was just, beside myself. So I try to help anybody I can, uh, if I can. So, hi, Sheila Chester. Hope you're doing okay. We're doing okay. Just making it. I don't have anything important to talk to you about this evening. I'm exhausted from being starting early this morning. I did take about a 20-minute nap in the chair this afternoon. Then up and off again. I went again. I had to get a blind for one of the windows because the heat, the sun. I thought these were the wood blinds, the thick wood blinds. I guess it's plastic because the rest of them didn't, but this one must have snuck in that box. Got labeled because I thought I bought all the same thing, and they may all be plastic. I don't know. They weren't real expensive, but the sun on the south side has melted or made that thing so warped. And I moved it the other day, and I was trying to adjust it, to bring it back out. Well, it just broke. So it looked like the hillbilly's house with that broke blind in the front of by my bird bath. I thought I've got to get. So I went to Lowe's and found one for about $16. They had them on some stuff they have on sale. I always try to look. I even got one of those door locks the other day where you punch the code and all that, and it had been like pretty high dollar. I don't know exactly what, but I got it for like oh Lord, I don't know, $18. It probably been about 65 or 70, but it's a closeout because you could get black or brushed aluminum. Well, it doesn't matter to me if it's brushed or black. I like it. Uh-huh. Lemonade. We're having lemonade tonight with Nellie and Joe's key lime lemon juice. Only thing you have to buy, only way to make a good lemon juice, homemade lemon juice like a Sonic or the old drugstore is to use Nellie and Joe's key lime. You get off Amazon, get the lime and the lemon. They got a pack now. I guess I griped so much because you was having to buy 2 lemon bottles or 2 limes, but now they have one of each, and it's about, I'm not sure, $11. I'm not sure. Hi, Jimmy, maybe. She's doing good. She said, hello, Billie Jean and sweet mama. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, too. Deb, good to see you. Mom's doing fine. She was worried about my sister today. My sister has a bird dog, and I've told her, and Mother's told her, don't let that bird dog out in the country off of the wire, off of the lead. She did, and it cut its leg. Well, of course, there's probably 10 and everything else out in them fields, around that barns and all that. So it just wouldn't heal, and I told her it's a puncture wound. You're going to have to get something done because dogs don't get tetanus and stuff. And I said, you've got to get him a shot or medicine, because that's going to turn into sepsis. So it's been about 3 weeks, and wouldn't heal up, kept swelling up. So she took him today, and yeah, he had the 10 or whatever, because I told her if anything goes in that puncture wound, and it just minutely scrapes the bone, if it goes that deep and it scrapes that bone, or it'll cause a bone infection, and that can be very detrimental and very deadly for a human and dog too. Well, when they x-rayed it, yep, that's what he had. He scratched the bone, just a minor scratch. And so now they've put him on that high-powered antibiotic for 20-something days. I thought, boy, he really had an infection in that leg. We used to have race horses that get foundered, because they'd hurt their foot just a little bit, and all of a sudden they couldn't walk or they couldn't run, they couldn't do anything, and they'd have to be put down or put out to pasture because you sure in the heck couldn't race them anymore. And that was years ago when everybody was in that racing mood. In Texas and Oklahoma, they had a big race and everybody was doing it. That was the same time those emu. Y'all remember those emu? Everybody's trying to invest in those emus. I've still got about 4 or 5 of those eggs that have been blown out, that I hand painted somewhere. And I used to take the wood burner thing and do it, but yeah, but that's about all they became. And people spent $100,000 on an emu farm, and all they got out of it was some big old eggs. I thought, boy, I'm sure glad I didn't get on that bandwagon. It sounds too good to be true. I thought, who's gonna want all them chickens, those big old grown chicken? So we didn't do it. My dad had talked to me about it. I said, no, I'm not. I don't want nothing to do with them. The only time I saw a llama was down at, I don't know if some of you are familiar or not, Owen sausage. That's a Texas tradition, is Owen sausage. Well, my aunt that worked at the Pentagon retired to Rockwall, Texas, and she worked for Mr. Owens as his personal secretary, cataloging photographs and all that stuff. So in the summertime, I'd go out to the Owens Ranch, and they had a llama out there. Nobody told me much about it. I'd seen cows and pigs and horses and chickens, but I never had encountered a llama. And so I went out there and I just, petting that llama. That thing spit right in my eye, and boy, it burned. After that, I didn't want to meet no more llamas or no more anything. I just deal with natural farm animals. Hi, Fern. How are you? Well, I'm not going to bed right now, Fern. She put good night, Billie Jean. Rest well. I didn't know I was going to bed, but maybe she's telling me I need to. Oh, there's 2 Billie Jeans on the screen. I thought maybe I'm flipping out. Maybe my brain's getting less cooperative than what it usually is. I'm glad you said something, Sheila, because I didn't know. Beverly White says, "There you are. Where have I been? Y'all are messing with my brain tonight. I guess it don't take much, y'all. Tomorrow I have farmer's market in the morning, and I told the old barbecue guy I would meet him up there, and we're going to discuss a new barbecue sauce an old barbecue gravy sauce. But I told him it might be something he would want to bottle to go along with his red barbecue. It's not real hot, but it's good sauce. Beverly, she's in there. Hi, Mama. She can hear you, y'all. She reads these comments and can hear you. So I'm in a total different area. She's in there directing, but we'll hear her little scuffs if something goes wrong. I can't get enough lemonade, y'all. I was burning up in that kitchen. The air conditioner's on, but I was busy in there slinging those, getting all that spice, throwing that spice away, bottles that might have been here since Jesus was a baby. I don't know, but I sure got rid of a bunch of that stuff. The new icebox is absolutely divine. Of course, I plugged that in this morning about 5:30. I thought it's been long enough. I'm not waiting 24 hours. If it blows up, it will. No, I knew it probably the oil and stuff, whatever they say, you don't plug it in. If it's been on its side, until 48 hours later. But it had been long enough, close to it, maybe not 48 hours, 24 hours. So it'd been about probably 22. I thought it won't kill it. And I can see if it's going to work in case I need to go get some parts or do something tomorrow before I leave this house to take that person to the doctor. And it started cooling right off. You could tell that freezer, the drawer at the bottom was that freezer. It started cooling right off, and then probably by 8 o'clock, it had already clopped two ice baskets of ice, or two deals of ice down. So I knew the ice was working. I knew the refrigerator was working. Uh, yeah, it was. I'm talking about the llama story. Okay. Yeah, that was. I didn't know they spit in your eye. You just go around in barns, and we didn't have. And I've had cows after me and bulls after me, and I've even had chick roosters. Boy, they'll flog you. They'll get on the back of your legs, and they'll try to get you with them old claws, whatever they're called. I know what they're called, but not right now. I don't. But tomorrow is, like I said, Farmers Market Day. I hope y'all are going to do something interesting this weekend, because it won't be long till it's Halloween, and then November be Christmas. I mean Thanksgiving, then Christmas. It just always goes real quick once we get down to this part of the year. Everything's gone so fast this year, y'all. Beverly says her internet is touchy today. Well, this one had one, but then I plugged the emergency wire in. Spurs, that's it, Jimmy. Yeah, Spurs. Uh, I remember one time I was out on the back porch, and Mom come around that house with a little old hatchet about that big. She is chasing this chicken. I bet I wasn't no more. Oh, I probably was 7, because she didn't do it very often, y'all. We bought chicken and stuff, but she was chasing that chicken around that house. And come here, you come here. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna cut your head off. You just come here. And so she got him some way, but she put him down on that stump and did that, and that thing started flopping. It scared the bejesus out of me. I thought the darn chicken was dead. It had come back to life. I thought, Lord help. It's just a miracle. Of course, it's the muscles and all that, but I didn't never want to be around no chicken being killed again. I didn't like it. Now, I'd seen the lady down the road. She always get them pull their head off, and I don't remember them flopping. They might have. But I didn't want to do it after that. I told Mama, please don't do that anymore. Don't kill no more of those chickens. That was just plumb mean. So I really don't remember that she did anymore. You know what we did when I was a kid on the rivers? We went fishing. We would get the boat and we'd go out, and some of those catfish their heads would be that wide. They were humongous in that Red River. And I'd go to help Daddy, and we'd pull them up in that flat bottom boat. And boy, some of them kind of tasted musty because they were so old. But we didn't. A lot of times we had fish. Lord, we had fried catfish. Daddy had built a fish cooker out of two drums, like oil drums, and he'd cut them and fixed them where a big skillet. I've still got one of the big skillets. One of the biggest skillets you could get at the farm store, feed store, and he would fill that with grease and cook the potatoes, and then he'd cook the fish, then the potatoes, and y'all, that was some good eating back then. He'd fry those hush puppies out there with that hickory wood. Y'all, that was the best time of my life. I loved it. Fern says, laughing out loud, I'm almost 64, and I remember my mom killing chickens like that. It's definitely different nowadays than when I was. Yeah, it was different, all right. There's still people down there, kinfolks that do it. They still kill chickens, and I don't. I love those eggs, and I get them. Occasionally. Most of the time, I go to the country grocery store and get the brown eggs. DJR said I had a rooster get after me in an egg house. It just kept chasing me. It was determined to get me. Usually, they will get you. You know. One thing I didn't like going into getting the eggs at the chicken houses when they told me about snakes. They curl up in there, and I would get a stick. Wouldn't tell nobody. I'd get a little stick and I'd poke around in there. Well, then I'd break all the eggs, and it didn't work out very well. But I didn't want to stick my hand up in that chicken's nest and them big old snake come out there, one of them chicken snakes that like to eat eggs. Ooh, I'd have had a heart attack right there if one of them wrapped around my arm. Yeah, Jessica, I love fried catfish. I've got some in the freezer right now. I thought, well, I might have a catfish party. Well, it didn't happen this year. It don't look like it's going to happen because of all this stuff. So Debbie says she used to work at the chicken plant in Georgia. We've got somewhere around here. There's is it Tyson's or something like that? They're all over. I think Sherman, Texas has a Tyson chicken plant and the Oscar Mayer. But I can't hardly eat chicken anymore. David says, I'm afraid I'd be a vegetarian if I had to slaughter. I nearly am already. Well, me too, David. I'll just be honest with you, especially after this liver cirrhosis and stuff, and them talking about eating red meat and iron overloads. And I can't hardly eat chicken, y'all. It stinks to me. I don't know why. It doesn't matter if it's fresh right then, frozen. The only way I can eat fried chicken is if I put them spices on it and really batter it good and put it in the grease and fry it. But I don't really care for any of that here. I'm not. I may go vegetarian too, David. So we'll just go vegetarian. I think it's so much better for you. My doctor friends, they're from India, her and her husband, and they eat some. I've made her some different dishes that the browned, really browned rice, and when you flip it out of the pan, it makes just a crunchy cake, rice cake, big rice cake, and then you have your yogurts and different sauces, and y'all, that food is good, and it's not a thing bad for you, and none of that food. Uh, and she's beautiful. Her skin is beautiful. He's trim, everything about him. So I may start cooking some Indian dishes. Now, I've not gotten into curry. I haven't really tried it because that wasn't something we grew up on, curry. Uh, I've got, bottles of it that people give me, or I bought at the cooking store, culinary. Jessica said, unless chicken is fried, I don't care for it. Still, then, I'm not going to go into no details. I just don't care for it. I love, mother doesn't like it, so I don't eat it, but I love salmon. I love to poach my salmon with vegetables or rice. That I can live off that probably for a while with lemon juice. I think it'd be really beneficial for me. And I told her the other day that the doctor that found the cancer tumor said you need to start eating salmon. I said, well, I've tried. It's not that I don't like it. It's just my mother. I cook for her too, and to be less detrimental on me, I try to cook us the same thing. Now, if we had a cook and uh, all that, then I would order what I want. She could order what she wants, but we don't have that, so I do what I can. IDLI. I don't know that, David. Ideli Sambar Home, but that's all. Indian is great cuisine. Well, I did them last summer. I did them that rice. It's there's a name for it. Then they had the open house for the skin. She opened a new skin business, laser and all that. And she did my face twice. And now that I've lost that weight, this is, I told her, you're going to do something more than laser. I may need some wallpaper paste or something, glue this stuff back because I said, I'm looking too old and I don't like being old. Uh, but I made them, she had that open house and I made them some, it's kind of like, it would be kind of like American fudge, but it's, what'd that have in it? It was a spice that you wouldn't think would go in candy, but it was good. It was a lot of sugar, so I only ate a little bitty piece just to see how it was flavored. And then I used saffron because I'd gotten saffron on my travels. I used to get them in bags, and I've still got some saffron left, and you sprinkle that in that candy. I can't remember the name of it, but it was good. They appreciated it because they didn't ask me to bring nothing. I'm always trying to go over and aboard for people. Uh, Fern, oh yes, salmon's great and salmon cakes. I could live on fish. Well, I may start. I love salmon until I choked on a bone. Well, you have to be careful about that. You just have to be careful with those bones. Those salmon patties, Grandma, everybody's made them for years. And I've got 3 or 4 big cans of salmon in there. And one of my favorite movies is Driving Miss Daisy. And I remember when Hack come in and he acted out with Jessica Tandy that he just didn't want what they were having for dinner, and he reached in there. He said, and I I just got a can of your salmon, and she had made a phone call to her son, said that Hack was stealing from her. Well, her son come over there, and when he came in, they were all there cavorting around, discussing him being a thief, and then of course he reached in that bag. He said, "Here, Miss Daisy, I ate a can of your salmon, and here it is. I had to. That's why I'm late. I had to stop by the A&P, and so then of course she didn't mention it no more, and neither did her son. But that is one of the sweetest movies, and I enjoy it every time I see it. There's a lot of movies during that little time period. Now I can't be so sure. Y'all, I don't like all this murdering and molestation and raping, and I don't like seeing it. Makes me feel so bad. And so I just kind of revert back to Pretty Woman or Driving Miss Daisy. There's a lot of great older movies. Mother, just for some reason, she does not like a black and white movie. I guess that's all her being 93, I guess they grew up at the show on black and white movies. I don't know. She just doesn't like them. DJR, I like to bake salmon in oven with lemon juice and fresh dill. I got some fresh dill. I just noticed it was coming up yesterday really well. So I'll have some of that, and that basil is about to take over everything, which it does. And uh, thyme. This morning I looked, and that thyme was about that big of a plant. So I'll dry all that. See, once it starts to get cold, I'll hang that up with twine, probably in the where you can dry laundry, in the like a porch kind of breakfast area, and just dry all that stuff. Boy, this house smells good around Christmas because I've got all those herbs just hanging upside down, ready to. Then I'll grind them and I'll put them in my uh, boxes. Um, and then that saves me on herbs. I didn't do it last year. I've done it many years before. So it does save on herbs, and it's so much better. There's no telling how long those herbs have been in those bottles. So I don't even like using them too much. I'll use my mortar and pestle and grind the stuff up. But after today, I'm going to have to get everything in more order. Uh, I had spice from probably 19. Well, they were in some French canisters, so probably 19 when I learned to cook or starting to learn to cook or experiment. 1990 maybe. It's no good. I don't know why I kept all that. The Provence, herbs of Provence. I had two or three bottles of that. A couple were never opened, and those are old, but they'll last in that clay bottle. They last. And I got my new King Arthur cookbook, not cookbook, supply book today. Boy, they're trying to compete with a lot of people. Of course, that's what I use is King Arthur cake flour. Uh, I like it. Uh, White Lily is too expensive from down here where I am. It makes good biscuits and all that, but the King Arthur I've just found out is just I use it and I like it. But we just seem to. I just don't want to keep using a bunch of. I don't want to keep trying to make breads and all that stuff because it just puts weight on me. And I mean, you have to have some weight. You can't starve yourself to death. But I want to get through this surgery without a bunch of weight, and I know I need it though. So proteins and things like that. So I'm gonna do salmon this next week. I'm gonna go and see about getting one of those at Sam's, y'all. You know they come in the big sheets, this big sides of salmon, and if you cut that up, it's about $3 a meal. Rice is dirt cheap. They gave us some of that rice up there at that food place the other day, that church food place. So you can eat with yellow squash and bell pepper and stuff. Mix that in and do your salmon. The only way I do my salmon, there's a video on there. Is I put my salmon and cover it with like a plastic wrap, not the bad plastic, but uh, you can even cover it with a clean cheesecloth that's been wet in the microwave, and that just poaches that salmon without having to get a bunch of pans and stuff out. And put it some good butter on it, and makes a good meal. Mother will eat it occasionally, but it's not something that she really likes a whole lot. But if I had my way, I'd eat chicken and dumplings with homemade dumplings every day, or I would. Oh, I like turkey and dressing. I like chicken and dressing. Even not around the holidays, I make my own cranberry sauce, which I'm gonna do that again this year because that recipe I come up with last year, it was really good cranberry, and I've had that the whole year. And Mother and I both will eat cranberry sauce on our plates because there's so many vitamins and stuff in it that we enjoy it. I wasn't going to come on this evening because y'all, I'm still kind of under the weather. I'm a little better, but some days this allergies has got me to where I'm about half drunk feeling. Like my inner ear is stopped up over here, but it came undone. See, when I did that TMJ kind of popping, that opened that ear up because when I sit down here, it closed up immediately. Probably I'd turn my head a little way or something, but I'm still kind of dizzy right now. And if that gets too bad, then I get sick at my stomach. And tonight I had fried some chicken thighs, and thought something jumped on me. Oh, it's the cat tail. The cat went around me and its fluffy tail went. I thought, Lord, there's something up under this desk. So I cut up that chicken breast that I'd fried and yesterday, and I made spinach leaves. I take all the little stems off because they're kind of tough sometimes. So I just mixed up a cream dressing with that, Parmesan dressing, Parmesan on top, a few onions chopped, and the spinach, and then the chicken. Mother really liked it. And the Parmesan cheese, grated, it sets that off. So that's all we had for dinner, and a glass of Kool-Aid. We didn't even have tea or anything today. I just didn't feel like cooking, and trying to get that new refrigerator all fixed up. A friend says she does the old fashioned chicken and dumpling where I mix my flour mixture and hand dip every single dumpling. It's time consuming, but so much better to me anyway than rolling out. I like dumplings. I mean, you can tell by looking at my waistline. I like dumplings and cake and pie and. But out of all the breads, if I could have one bread, it'd be cornbread because I eat that with milk at night. It's good for digest. Like at night, if my stomach's upset, I haven't had it in a while, but it fills you up. Plus, it's not hard on you if you go to bed on watching a movie or something. But I love cornbread. Uh, I'm not too much anymore. I used to make those big old rolls, homemade rolls, and let them rise twice and make them out of potatoes were good. Or you can just, there's several great rolls. Of course, biscuits I love, but I've quit kind of trying to consume those because of the heftiness it puts on me. And I don't know what we're going to. I've got two turkeys I found in the freezer. I've already got turkeys. I bought them in February at 98 cents a pound. So I've got two big turkeys, and then I take them and I repackage them. I mean, I put them in another big freezer bags, the big ones that will cover the whole turkey, kind of like a trash bag, but it's a big Mylar, not Mylar. I can't remember what it's called. So I've got two turkeys. Um, I'll probably cook one maybe October and then maybe one Christmas or Thanksgiving. May wait, do it Thanksgiving and then because I like cooking a whole turkey in that old timey General Electric roaster. Nothing better than cooking a turkey in that for 6 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, whatever, and then deboning it and putting it in the Sillamil bags, and then mother and I can have turkey. I used to love turkey, but just as David said, I'm kind of shying away from that. I'm going to do more fish, I think, or vegetables, and I can live on vegetables. Used to, I didn't think I could have lived on a vegetable in my life, but that's the way we grew up. You eat meat, steak, roast, chicken, all that. And I'm just kind of, but the other day I ate something. What was that? Oh, pork. I ate pork the other day, and I thought, yeah, time for dressing. I make a good dressing. Uh, that pork made me feel, and y'all may have had this. I don't know if it's leaky gut. I don't know what it's called, but and then I'm wondering if it wasn't some of those varices, something happening in there because it made me so dizzy, like I am kind of right now. I've eaten pork and a piece of steak too, and I thought, oh, I don't feel real good after about 20 minutes. It was just kind of like I was incoherent, not really. It was just kind of daisy. And then after about an hour, I got to feeling okay. But I thought, and then potatoes. I've noticed potatoes, if I eat any real close to the skin of the potato, like cream, but when I make cream potatoes or something, I get that same euphoric kind of. I've never been allergic to that stuff, so I don't know what's going on. And I've never had a food allergy test because they cost a fortune, and I don't think I'm allergic to swelling up allergic, but it might be enough just to make me feel kind of uh, woozy, I guess you'd say. I don't know for sure. I don't have anything to show y'all now. I've got a lot I could show you, but I don't see of anything here. I'm just wanting to come on and see if y'all were okay on Friday. I didn't come on last night because I was trying to get. I've got so many recipes that I have printed just this year. I bet I have 2 stacks of printed paper of recipes that I think, oh, I'm going to make that. Well, it never gets made, but I may put it in the cookbook. Okay, well, or I might use it for this. Well, I had to go through some of those because I thought I'm looking for a certain recipe. Somebody wanted to borrow a recipe for a white wedding cake, one of the German white wedding cake. Uh, Not that bad. I had tasted them one time. No, I don't eat them. I have friends that love them and all that, but I was at a gal's house one time and oh, they smelled so bad when they were cooking. I said, I can't. I'm not going to eat those. I didn't know it the first time, but after she said she's cooking chitlins, I said, "Oh Lord, no, I can't. I have a sensitive nose. I cannot stand nothing, especially if I'm eating, to have any kind of weird smell." Uh, Deb, golden years are wonderful, right? Well, I hope I hope it's as good as it has been. I mean, I had some setbacks, but I just try to do the best I can. And every day I ask the Lord to bless me and my family and friends and let me live another day. You know, I like that old saying that says, I woke up this morning and I had two gifts, and that was my eyes, today, because I couldn't, I don't think I could do very well. Even after I've had the cataract surgery, I don't see very well. Uh, Especially at night driving, I don't do it any longer. And I've had the cataract surgery in both eyes, but it just didn't take very well. So, my eyes were that's the favorite part of my body is my eyes. And so if I lost those, I think I might give up. But other than that, I'm going to keep chugging along, just like all of us should. We're here for a reason, or we wouldn't be here. Don't know what it is every day, but I know mine is my mother. Now after she's gone, I don't have any reason probably. Uh, I'll just keep chugging along till it's my time to check out, as my friend Dodie used to say. It'll be time to check out, and it's gonna come quicker than I thought. So I hope y'all have a good weekend. If I get to come on here tomorrow night, I'll tell you how the farmers market went. And if I have a chance to shoot some video, I'll do that. And now I know how to put the photographs, and I think I can put a video on here that I produce or film. Then we won't get in no trouble. But God bless you. God bless us. Yeah, DJ, everything's gonna be okay. I believe that.